You know, this is a world of communication, and it has become much more important. We have with us today Lara Rosales. Am I pronouncing it correctly, Lara?
Yeah, that's correct.
Rosales. Well, anyway, I'm going to call you Lara. She's got a company that I don't know where it came from, but it's certainly been impressing me over the last 6 months. It's a PR company, and she's got some interesting people working for her. And we want her to talk about a subject, uh, how to uh, be better at communicating. Um, but before we do anything, we're going to ask her first her personal background, then a little bit more about her company, and finally a website. So, Lara, it's all yours.
Absolutely. So I'm originally from Argentina, but I moved to Mexico during my last year of high school, which resulted in me winning a scholarship for a university in Mexico called Universidad Iberoamericana, which is where I got my bachelor's degree. My bachelor's degree is in Latin American literature. I've always been very passionate about writing and editing, proofreading, anything that has to do with the creative process of words, because I believe that words are important for everything that we do, and there's stories in everything that we do. So I graduated in 2018 with my BA, and after that, I moved to the US. A little bit after my graduation, and right before the pandemic started and everything went into lockdown, and people, some people started losing their jobs. Some people were frustrated about what was going to happen. I was lucky enough to actually find a job in the PR company that I work for right now, which is Otter PR. The founders of it are Scott Barnick and Jay Feldman. I interviewed with them because I applied for the job of writer when the company was first starting. There was only one other person who had been hired already. So, as you may be able to tell, it was a startup. And I began working with them in May of 2020. I began only doing writing mostly, just for the first clients that we got. I would interview them, um, help create articles for them, ghostwriting, feature articles, and help the publicist get the client's story out there and make sure that we're telling the story that they want to share and highlighting their business as they deserve to have it highlighted. As the company started growing, I moved into a different position and ended up becoming VP of Media Relations because I started working closely with media outlets. As a PR agency, we want to get our client story out in the media, and we want to work with different outlets who are interested in interviewing our clients, who want to share their stories, who might interview them for podcasts, TV shows, things like that. So I started working closely to establish those connections. We have relationships with different journalists that we work with who decide to interview the clients depending on how relevant their stories is to the outlet that they work for and the kind of things that they're looking to share with their audience. And I've been working on establishing those relationships since I became VP of Media Relations, and I think it has been pretty great. It opened my eyes to a whole different world of what writing can do. As a writer who was mostly writing freelance for magazines before starting for Otter PR, I was always interested in getting news stories and being able to write about different things and different people. And my role in Otter right now helps us get to that and expand our clients' stories.
Okay, and your company and your website, and spell it out for our audience.
So Otter PR is a public relations agency. We are working with several clients. They're in different industries. We have tech experts, health experts, media experts as well. We mostly focus a lot on thought leaders. We work with people who want press for their companies, press for themselves, for their products, services, different things that they're offering to their audiences. And we're helping, build that brand, get them the exposure that they want in the media, particularly in media that relates to the work that they're doing, so they can get to their target audience and, expand their brand, share their story. And when we work particularly with thought leaders, we are helping them become the leaders in their area, helping them share their knowledge. We work with clients who have an extensive amount of knowledge, and a lot of them are innovating with new products and new services. So we want to help them get the word out there and redirect people to their business so they know what they're doing, they know what they can purchase. If there's coaching services and things like that, we want the audience to be able to see that. Through our website, otterpr.com, you can see all of the services that we're offering, and you can also meet our team. We have dedicated pages for every single one of our publicists, our writers, and account executives, because we believe in the fact that we are a family as a company, so we all work together, and we want our clients to get to know us and to understand who they work with and why they work with a particular publicist. Every publicist is experienced in an area in particular, and we always try to match up the client to the publicist that will get the best results for them because they have experience in the same area. Same thing with our writers who, help craft these articles for our clients, help interview them. We work with writers who are experts in the several areas, and they can all manage the clients and working with them. And like I said, showcasing that we are a family and we all work together, because at the end of the day, we want the best results for our clients.
Okay. Well, you got a great spiel. But now let's talk about that in particular. Someone comes to you and they say, I'm an expert in widgets. What are some of the questions you ask them? And then how do you turn it around and talk to people like myself to get them on these programs?
So our publicists, when we connect them to the clients, they have like that initial first call. And it's based first, we have the client fill out a questionnaire in which we ask them their story. What's your company about? Or what's your brand about? Or even what are you about if you are a thought leader? So in there, we want them to tell us everything about themselves, about their company, why it's important, the goals that they have, the message that they want to put out there, which is what helps us craft their story. When they connect with their publicist, they will tell the publicist a little bit more about their goals and what they're looking for with this media exposure. Because at the end of the day, what we do is we put you on the front. There you are in front of every outlet that we can get you up, different journalists, different podcasts, interviews, everything that we can get for you. So the idea is to get your story so we know what we're looking to expose out there and to share with the audience. And once we have that conversation with the client, we know their goals, we know their story, their message, because every company has a main message, and that's your beliefs, your values, what you stand by. And that's sort of what we start crafting when we reach out to journalists. We combine our client's story and what they have to share, if it's a product, if it's coaching, if it's a service, anything of the sort, with relevant news that are going on in the world. We work with clients that we believe are innovating how things work and how people think, and they're sharing their knowledge because there's a lot of information out there and sometimes it's hard to process. We have clients who know how to share the information with the audience and how to speak about certain subjects and different topics. And that's what we share with the journalists. We have this client who we know can contribute to what you're talking about, what you've been writing about. And this is their story, and this is why they're good to share this knowledge with you, and why we believe that the audience will be interested in what they have to say.
Yeah, but two questions that I always ask are: some people don't know what their message is. What do you do when they don't know their message?
I believe that we help them craft it together. Even if they don't clearly know their message, it's always underneath what they have been doing. If they're creating a product, that product is to fulfill something that the audience has been demanding. So their message goes in that area. If you're a thought leader, there's something that you strongly believe in. whatever your topic may be, there's a core to the message that you're giving, to what you're saying, the kind of knowledge that you've gained, what you studied, what you're working on. And in those things that you've done, there's always a message. If you are not able to find it on your own or put it into words, because sometimes you know what you're doing and you know what you want to share with the audience, but you don't know how to put it into words, we can help you with that as well. We know what the core of your company can be, and we know how to express that so that people, whether it's journalists, whether it's audience, like people who read the outlets, people who watch your interviews, they can understand what you're doing and why it's relevant to what they're looking for. I believe that underneath everything, there's always a message. Even if it's not clear at first, we can always help you craft it. And that's why I believe that words are always very important, and there's a story in everything that we do.
Well, there's a great line. There's a story in every person. But now, having uh, said that, you wanted to come on and talk about how to improve what people are doing. Um, Maybe I got it wrong. In all of the problems that we had getting together, you had a topic you wanted to really discuss today.
One of the things that we were mostly interested in discussing is, this idea of communicating with outlets and how we create this stories for journalists to be interested in, and how I mostly established media relations, and how, we were able to connect with different journalists. And a lot of that has to do with the work that we do for our clients and how we put them out into the world and how we highlight everything that we do. My job, like I said, most of it is working directly with journalists, directly with magazines, newspapers, TV stations, and always trying to connect with them to share our clients' stories. And the way in which I do that is, first of all, you do a lot of research. You have to know what's relevant right now. You have to know what journalists are writing about. And when you approach someone, you don't want them to feel like you're trying to just dump your client on them and be like, oh, talk about my client, because that doesn't always work, and most people don't want to be approached that way. And it's something that in PR we do is we tell the journalists why we believe that this is relevant for them. And that's how I approach every new journalist that we try to work with. I do my research on every single one of them, on what they're writing, what they're working on, what they're interested in, and I become familiar with their work at first. As a writer myself, I know how important it is when people approach you talking about your work, because it means that they've read it and they're interested in what you're doing. So I always do my research in that area, and I always try to talk to them about things that I believe are relevant to their topics. And that's how, we pitch clients, we establish these connections. And a lot of journalists, since we established these relationships, they're always asking if, we have new clients, things that we believe will be interesting for them. And I think that that's how communications are working a lot nowadays, because it's a lot about branding yourself and putting yourself out there. And, with social media, everything gets shared so fast that we want to stay on top of everything and we want to stay relevant. And that's why we create these relationships with journalists and outlets.
But I guess to me, the next question is: most journalists are unapproachable nowadays. How do you approach them?
Well, a lot of them are approachable through social media. A lot of them have their contact information or where they want to be contacted on their social media links. LinkedIn is also a great tool because you get to know what they're working on. You can, do the research on their articles they've been written and things that they're interested in. But I believe that social media is the number one tool. That's where I do a lot of my research. And some outlets actually have their journalist information on their website, and you can reach out to them through there and emailing them and letting them know, like, hey, I'm very interested in your work. I've read these articles and this is what I found very interesting, and it's been really good to read your articles and your work. I really like it, and we start talking from there, and sometimes they end up being very interested in our clients, and we're able to make that connection and have them, interview our clients. And everything is about understanding each other and what each other's needs are and what people are looking for. Journalists, of course, they're always writing about the news and staying on top of things. And if you present something that's relevant and interesting and you approach them appropriately and tell them, like, this is what I'm offering, a lot of them come back with really good replies.
Hmm. Well, this is a world of specialization. Is there certain industries that you prefer to work in?
Well, I like a lot of mental health advocates. We work with some, anything that has to do with small businesses that are starting to grow. I'm very interested in that. I like writing about that as well. And I'm also very interested in writing and highlighting minority groups who are succeeding in different areas and, starting their own businesses or sharing their stories. That's the sort of thing that I like writing about, and what I have been able to write about while being in Otter PR as well, and what our writers are able to write about things that they're interested in, because we have such a different group of clients that work in different industries.
Well, how do you get your clients? Is it referral? Is it how are you generating new clients?
So we have different clients that they found us in different ways. Some of them are through referral, because we're lucky to have had clients that have been with us for a long time. So, they refer us to people that they know. There are clients that we approach them ourselves because we're interested in their stories and we would like to work with them and get them the media recognition that we believe they deserve. And we have had a lot of luck with people finding our website when they're looking for PR and establishing a connection through there. They can send us an email and we get back to them. We are very approachable through social media as well if they want to reach out. So different ways in which clients have luckily found us, and it's been very good.
Okay. Well, now let's talk about the $24 question. How do you charge?
So we have a monthly fee. Our clients pay that monthly fee, and we have different packages at the moment. They all vary in the amount of guarantees that they get and how many, exposures in the media they're going to get, whether they're published in different outlets, whether they do TV and podcasts, if they want to start working as contributors for different outlets. Each package has that difference. And the great thing about Otter PR is that we do it month to month, so the client doesn't have to sign up with us for any limited amount of time. If they want to renew it on a monthly basis, they can do that. So we would like to work with them that way.
Hmm. Well, we're sitting here talking about it, about PR, but some people will say PR is not worth the money. What do you say when you run into somebody like that?
Well, I think that that's not true. I think PR is actually worth the money because it's going to put you in front of the audience that you're looking for. Nowadays, when there's so many people starting their own businesses, different products, different people who want to send out their message, I believe that having the right PR help is going to help you go out there into the audience that you're looking for. We work a lot with CEO, social media, domain authority of the outlets that we're going to share your story with, because getting those clicks in your stories and redirecting them to your website or your social media accounts is very important. And I believe that just starting your business and, starting an Instagram account is not really going to put you in front of all the target that you can reach. But your publicist and your PR agency is going to be able to put you in front of the right eyes so that you start expanding and growing your business and getting more people interested in your story.
You can say that, but how do you measure? Um, if you get, well, let's talk about the New York Times. If you get a piece in the New York Times, do you measure it and say it's 4,000 readers? Well, what's this? What do you say to your client when you make something like the New York Times?
So when we present to our clients a win like that, we obviously tell them the domain authority, how high the website is and how many views it gets. And there are different tools in which we can see how many people have actually read that article, how many people have shared that article through social media. If we add backlinks that redirect to the client's website, that's also very, very important to add in the article. And we always keep track of those metrics. We're very interested in keeping track of how many views those articles get, and those are reports that we actually do share with our clients. Our publicists have weekly reports with their clients where they share every win and those metrics, like I said, domain authority, viewership, how many times it has been shared, and things that will, show the client that we are doing our job and that it's helping build their brand.
Hmm. Your website again, and please spell it out for our audience.
Our website is Otter PR, OTTER.PR.com.
How'd they come up with the name Otter PR?
So that was our founders actually, and it's about the trust that you have in the animal. Animals are very, people when they think about animals, it's something that's trustworthy and nice, and we want you to trust us. And we believe that otters are, very lovable creatures and very cute, and they have sort of that friendly characteristic in them when they form their rafts and they all go together. And at Otter PR, as soon as you join, you will definitely be part of the raft.
Well, yeah, there's a program on one of the channels of which otters have totally denuded the land around this Alaskan township, but that's another story. I used to think they were harmless creatures, but according to that, but let's talk about something. Do you do? Someone comes to you and says, "I've written a book." What? How do you go about getting them to getting that book raise its visibility?
So we have actually had clients in the past who wanted us to promote their books. And there's different ways to do that. If the book is particularly, about a specific topic and it's nonfiction, like I said, we work with the client as a thought leader. So we would introduce, their beliefs and how they put this into the book. You can always get outlets who are interested in reviews, other writers who are looking to, expand like the readership list of new books. And we would always have the client interviewed to talk about their book, what it is about, the kind of topics that the book touches upon. And it's pretty much getting them to share the story that's in the book to get people interested in the book. When it comes to nonfiction, it's also about, telling who their author is, what they have done, why the book is relevant to other books that are going on right now who are relevant and important in the literature world. So we try to place our client as well as a thought leader within literature and their knowledge and why their story is important and the topics that the story talks about, because even nonfiction is always talking about relevant topics and things that are important to our society. So we try to highlight those things as well.
We only have about a minute and a half left. What would, Lara, what would you like to leave our audience with?
To leave them with the knowledge that PR is still important, that branding your business, it's very important, and that if you were to join Otter PR and hire us to help you with your PR, you'd be part of our family, and we would work very hard to make sure that you are getting your money's worth and that your story is out there in the media, getting you the looks that you want and the audience that you want.
And your website, one last time?
OtterPR.com.
Okay. On that note, Lara, you've certainly explained your business very well, and thank you for the time.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.